Welcome back, all my fluffy people in the world. This is episode 3 of the Phluffy Boiz Podcast with my co-host, Ryan, with my special guest at the time, Kenyon, and our first official special guest, Jaxon. Hey, y'all just pulled up a good win this week? No. Hey, y'all did. Y'all win this week?
Yes, we did. 1-0 in district.
Hey, that's a great way to start off district.
Uh, you can really tell like the culture's changing at North Lamar. Coach Whitaker's doing a phenomenal job. Like when he first comes in, um, I think they win one game. Last year they win 3. Right now we're 5-1. Like that, it's a complete turnaround of the program. The athletes are buying in. It's fun to watch their improvement every week, being able to just go out there and compete because there are teams that are more athletic than us, and like that we're going to face that all year long. But they have no quit. They have no die in them. They're just always going to be able to fight through adversity and pull out wins. It's great to start off District 1-0.
I mean, it's always a fun time to win games. You're always got to fight for the wins, and y'all are doing some improvement. Y'all are bringing back the old North Lamar team that everybody used to know.
I'm thankful to be a part of it.
Kenyon, how's Kentucky?
It's getting cold. Tomorrow's supposed to be like 48 in the morning. Ain't about it. Bring back Texas
49
weather.
tomorrow. But how's the job? How's it looking? Tell us about your week.
It's looking good. I get to change my schedule around to where I'm only working 4 days now, so I get a 3-day weekend, which is good. I started that this week, so like yesterday I went and played some golf. You could tell that I hadn't played golf in a minute. Kind of embarrassing.
That's how it would look if I went on a golf course anytime.
But thought I was gonna get to enjoy my 3-day weekend. I got up early to watch college game day this morning for the Red River Rivalry. I get a text. I get a text roughly in the middle, right about 10 o'clock this morning, so about an hour before game time, and it's my boss asking if I can come and work. And I was like, "Well, you see, I can make it in about 4, probably, and work a couple hours." So that's what I ended up doing. I watched the game, then went in, and then tomorrow I'm picking up another shift and working a little bit, and then I think I'm going to be able to take off Thursday, so I'll have a 4-day weekend next week. But
Hey,
I am
you got to
very
make up
broke
for Nashville somehow.
As I say, I am very broke from
Got to make
Nashville.
up for Nashville somehow, baby.
Nashville is very expensive, as me and Jaxon found out last weekend.
Yeah, how was the game? How was the energy in the stadium? I saw pictures. I never got word of how y'all were doing down there. If it was like a
So for me, I was expecting it to be louder.
Yeah.
But also
game?
at the same time, like both end zones are like open, like the stadium is open. So it's not like enclosed, like Arrowhead or like the
Dallas.
stadium doesn't go all the way around. So I guess it kind of lets the noise out. But the fans were awesome, but there was a lot of Bengals fans there. Fans were awesome, like chirping, and it was fun. I really enjoyed it going to another NFL game because I've only been to one other one in Arlington. So being able to experience a new stadium, new atmosphere, new group of fans, see how they support their team, see how they love. It was a good experience.
I mean, who were you going for in the game though? Were you going for Joe Shiesty, or were you going for the King Henry to bounce back from the loss?
So in my head, I wasn't wearing either color. In my head, nobody knows who I'm rooting for. In my heart, I'm rooting for Joe.
Yeah.
But when the game started going towards Tennessee, I kind of joined those guys just to enjoy it, you know. I'll tell you, I joined those guys. I wanted to join their energy. I wanted to have fun at the game, and it wasn't going to be fun when you're down 27-3.
Yeah.
I
There's a
mean,
lot
Derrick
of Bengals
Henry
fans walking out.
Derrick Henry had a passing touchdown. That was
Helped our fantasy
phenomenal.
team, baby.
Hey. And then Thursday's game, that was a shocker.
DJ Moore.
Dude, hey, I had him on the Prize Picks. Hashtag not sponsored by Prize Picks. But I had him on my Prize Picks to, like, him and Terry McLaurin to have, like, 110 yards combined. Dude, that thing hit. That bet hit within the first 2 quarters.
With what you've seen so far, you bet the over on DJ Moore?
Yeah, and it hit. He had 230 yards receiving.
I understand it hit, but going into that game, I don't know why you could bet the over.
Well, it was two players. It was 2 players. They only needed 50 yards apiece. Or 55 apiece. And usually receivers, the ones that are actually going to play, actually get about 50 to 60 yards per game.
Take it from somebody who has DJ Moore in like 3 fantasy leagues. I would not have bet the over. I'm very thankful because of my 3 fantasy leagues that I had of what DJ Moore did, but I would not have taken the over.
He said 1, 2, 3. You have 3 touchdowns or 4?
3. He should have had 4. He never stepped out of bounds on the one they called him out of bounds on.
Yeah.
He was not out of bounds. And you notice the NFL also did not show the replay of that play and show exactly where he stepped out of bounds because he didn't step out of bounds.
Right. I mean, it was a weird game because I really thought the Commanders were going to win, but
no, Dick Butkus died. The Bears finally had something to play for. No Chase Claypool.
Chase Claypool actually just got traded.
Yep, to the Dolphins.
So
now he's going to be a wide receiver 5 instead of Robbie Chosen.
Yeah. Who else got traded this week? There was another guy that got traded.
J.C. Jaxon.
Yep.
Went from the Chargers. He was bad with the Chargers, but Bill Belichick's going to make him back into all-pro, J.C. Jaxon. I just believe too much in Belichick, especially on defensive players who are underperforming. I believe too much in Belichick to be able to just turn his career back around and get him back where he needs to be. Because in New England, J.C. Jaxon was a monster, and Christian Gonzalez going down for New England is just they needed somebody. They needed corner help. Their corner depth was down. Like really bad. So J.C. Jaxon going back to where his career was flourishing is just going to be, I think it's going to be a great move. Oh, like especially with defensive players like Matthew Judon, he was decent outside of New England, but when he gets to New England and his career just takes off, Belichick knows how to get the most out of people, and he knows just like Edelman, you know. Like he was a quarterback in college, and he brings Edelman in and makes him a all-pro slot receiver. He knows how to get the most out of people. He knows how to exploit their talents, knows how to exploit what somebody's best at, and uses it to his advantage, and ultimately helps the team win. They're not doing so hot now, but also I don't believe in their offensive coordinator either. So.
Patricia didn't do anything at Detroit either. I mean, like you look at what he did at Detroit as the head coach, and he didn't do anything. But now that he's back he's really not even like an offensive coordinator.
No, he's a defensive-minded guy.
Yeah,
calling offense. It's not.
It's not the right decision.
I thought it was Bill O'Brien who was their OC.
Is it?
Pretty sure it's Bill O'Brien.
The old Houston Texans coach?
Yep.
I thought he was the DC.
He's OC.
Really? What is Patricia then?
Gets paid to be on the payroll? I don't know.
I thought he was a coach because he was the head coach at Detroit.
He was a head coach in Detroit, but he was terrible in Detroit. Dan Campbell is the answer for those guys.
Dude, I'm telling you, Detroit Lions have turned their. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because they got rid of
St. Brown.
Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
It's Dan Campbell. 100% it's Dan Campbell. That man makes me want to run through a wall, and I don't play in the NFL. I would run through a wall for that man, and I don't play in the NFL.
So going into first topic, first this, first that. Looking after week 5 that we're looking at, or is it week 6?
What sport are we talking about?
NFL.
NFL. This is week 5.
After looking at week 5 with all these, good teams, we thought that were going to be, Super Bowl contenders to. We think they're dog. Who do we see going to the Super Bowl first?
Miami.
Who do we see going to the Super Bowl this year?
Miami and San Francisco.
Not the Boiz.
Miami and San Francisco. Mike McDaniel has figured something out in Miami on how to get the motion that Tyreek Hill goes in before he plays and gets him a running start for when the ball snapped. You can't guard that. You cannot guard Tyreek Hill's speed when he gets a running start on you. As a corner, you're not getting the running start that he is. You can't guard that. He's going to exploit that all year. And if you try and double him, you're going to open up a spot for Jalen Waddle. Tua is legit. Tua was drafted number 5 overall for a reason. Tua is freaking legit. His arm sleeve looks sweet. So he's given him superpowers to go this year. And San Francisco is the most well-rounded team by far. And they just got Randy Gregory. So, they needed help on the pass rush.
They just picked
Nick
him up.
Bosa's not enough. Randy Gregory's just going to come in and wreck shop this week if he gets to play this week.
When did they pick Randy Gregory up?
2 days ago.
I about to say he just got released, literally.
Yeah,
literally
Randy Gregory
3 or 4 days ago.
They needed help on the pass rush. That is not what they needed help. They don't need help. And San Francisco is the most well-rounded team from defense to offense to the coaching staff. Kyle Shanahan is a football genius. So I really am worried as a Cowboy fan for tomorrow. I'm extremely worried for tomorrow as a Cowboy fan, just because we can't beat them in playoffs. It seems that we always run into them in playoffs, and they have our number. And Christian McCaffrey, freak athlete, best running back in the league, if not best overall player in the league. I could make the argument for that.
Oh yeah,
best non-quarterback in the league.
What?
How about that?
How many games is it that he scored?
He scored in every game.
That'll be.
I know this year, but it goes back to last year too. I think
a lot.
How many games in a row that he's scored?
A lot.
I mean, that'd be the guy to score on a rush receiving or reception touchdown.
He can throw.
I mean,
he had to play quarterback in the NFC Championship game last year. He could throw.
I know. I think that was the best. I think that's the best pickup San Francisco's got ever since, taking Brock Purdy in the, last round of the draft.
Last pick.
Year. The last pick of the last round last year. I think it was phenomenal that they picked up, Christian McCaffrey from the Panthers. Because if McCaffrey would have stayed on the Panthers for more than, 3 more seasons, his career would have been done. He wasn't doing anything on the Panthers. They weren't winning championships. They weren't winning games. At San Francisco, he is winning games, looking like a all-pro running back.
He is an all-pro running back, and you see that he has an O-line that blocks for him. Knock on wood, but he doesn't get hurt near as much.
Why are you knocking on wood if you want the Cowboys to win tomorrow? You should be knocking on something else.
Because I like watching good football, and Christian McCaffrey is just a talent and a gift to football fans, and I don't wish that upon him. But
You
you
still gotta
notice he
have
has an O-line to
respect.
run behind. You give him some space, he's not injured near as much.
Right.
Like, you gotta have respect for players, no matter if they're on your team or not. Like, even in the like, anytime, like, as an Oklahoma fan, and you see a Texas player on the field that's a good player or anything, like, you just have to have respect for that player that he's not, severely injured. Even though,
Like today in that game, Gentry Williams goes down. And Gentry Williams was a major part in why Oklahoma's defense was being so dominant today. Interception, fumble recovery, like he's flying around making tackles. Like he was a big piece, and I didn't want to see him leave the game. But in a way, as a Texas fan, I wanted to see him leave the game.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't wish for an injury. I just wish, he would have got benched or something.
Like watching that game on the way to Mount Pleasant today, I really was like, whenever they kicked the field goal, I was like, oh, that's the end of the game. Like, I'm about to hear about it later on, stuff like that. But then a minute 25 left in the game, they scored, and there's only 15 seconds left on the clock.
A minute 17, no timeouts.
I know. Yeah. And they scored with 15 seconds left.
A minute 17, no timeouts.
Stoops was the deciding factor for that game today. Stoops was the best. If he wouldn't have caught that pass and ran for 25 yards, that game would have been over, done with. You would have lost.
I hope he would have caught that pass, considering there was nobody near him.
But Texas has the ball on the 1 yard line, 1st and goal.
Can't score.
And you can't score? That's not a recipe to win games. It's a scoring contest. The way you're going to win games is you're going to score more than the opponent. Mm-hmm. If you're on the 1 yard line, you have 4 chances to get in the end zone, and you don't do it. You're not going to win many ball games. If you don't win the turnover battle, and if you can't score in the red zone, you're not going to win many ball games.
Nope.
And I think that was a big problem for Texas today. The problem that Oklahoma had was their special teams. And I think today should show how important special teams is, because special teams can lose you a game. Special teams almost lost Oklahoma that game.
Yep.
If Oklahoma would have lost that game today, it was their special teams. It was not their defense. It was not their offense.
Yeah, because it's very rarely you lose with 2 interception and fumble recovery.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it hurts my heart. I was screaming at my TV. I was crying after the game. I was upset. But Oklahoma's special teams is what would have lost Oklahoma that game today.
My Buccaneers are 4-1. Baker!
Oh, that Buccaneers. I thought he was talking about Ohio State.
Baker is not good.
Yes, he is. Okay, look. I will say this. So I saw a picture the other day, and it was saying, what if the best players of Oklahoma was flipped to Texas, and the best Texas players were flipped to Oklahoma. When I saw Baker in a Texas uniform, I was kind of like, yeah, I probably wouldn't like that guy. If he went to Texas, I probably wouldn't like that guy.
I don't like Baker. I can't stand Baker. Baker, I will say, I don't like Baker in any form or fashion. So don't hear what I'm not saying. But I like the intensity Baker plays with. I like the chip on his shoulder that Baker plays with. I think somebody who's more talented than Baker has that same intensity, same chip on his shoulder. They're elite. I think Jordan Love is more talented than Baker Mayfield. If Jordan Love had the same drive, the same intensity that Baker did, Jordan Love would be in the MVP conversation right now.
Eagles are
but Jordan Love is also going to come in with the same problem Aaron Rodgers had, and that Green Bay will not draft a receiver. They will not get him anybody to throw to.
He's more of a mobile quarterback, though. I could see like Jordan being like a, he's got the arm strength to be a well-rounded quarterback with, many threats, but there's no way that Green Bay is going to draft him a receiver. I mean, they never have.
They need to.
What was the last good receiver that
Devontae
actually? I mean, yes, forgot about that. I forgot Devontae was on Green Bay. I really did. See him in a Raiders uniform.
I feel bad for him. He wants out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't blame him. McDaniels is not a head coach. He's not a head coach. Not Mike McDaniel. Josh McDaniels is not a head coach. He was already a head coach once in Denver. It did not work. So he goes back to New England, somehow gets another head coaching job, and it's not working. I don't see Josh McDaniels ever working as a head coach. I think he's a phenomenal assistant. I think he's great when he only has to focus on one side of the ball. But when you give him the entire team and the entire team has to buy into what he has to say, it's not going to work.
So then what are we thinking about Sean Payton, though? He just got smoked by Miami 70-20. And he's not brought nothing to Denver. Denver is what? 1-4? Or are they 2-3?
Also, I'm not judging Sean Payton right now. This is only Sean Payton's first year. It's only his first year. He hasn't had. Granted, he has had an entire offseason and training camp and preseason to put in his system, his ways, and what he wants to do. But at the same time, those aren't his guys. He hasn't gotten all of his drafts in. You give him like 3-4 drafts, give him a few off seasons to bring in his guys who he wants. Sean Payton is a Super Bowl caliber head coach. So I'm not going to judge Sean Payton on what he's doing this year because he's also strapped with Russell Wilson, who has looked better. He's looked better than what he did last year. But Russell Wilson also did not have a great head coach last year. So I'm not going to fully blame what happened last year on Russ because Hackett was only hired to bring in Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers didn't go to Denver. They settled on Russ. But also at the same time, in his last year in Seattle, you could see Russ's decline. You could see it coming.
So are we thinking that Russ retires in the next maybe, 2 or 3 seasons, maybe 4?
Yeah.
Or do we trade him out for more draft stock?
Nobody's going to take him.
Whoever wants to pick him up,
nobody's going to take that contract. Nobody's going to take 4 years of Russ paying him $40 million a year.
Yeah, $40 million a year.
Nobody's going to take that contract. And
$40 million.
I don't like the Giants, but I'm not blaming Daniel Jones either. He has revolving doors as an O-line.
Yeah, there's no O-line out in New York. That's horrible. Like,
how many times did he get sacked? 11? You get sacked 11 times in a game? You're not going to win.
God, if you'd have picked who they play?
Seattle.
Game. Yeah, if you'd have picked Seattle's defense on your fantasy, good Lord, you'd have been stacked. Woo! Stacked on some fantasy points that week. But do they? They could just like release him after Because if you release him, then your contract does your contract go with you whenever they release you, or is it just
They owe you a lot of money.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they got to buy out the rest of the contract. I'm not 100% sure how it works, but I think they have to give you all the money you're guaranteed.
I was gonna say, there's guaranteed money. So no matter, like, even if he was hurt all 4 years, he's guaranteed so much money. And that's the same as if you release him.
It's like Michael Thomas on the Saints. He's been injured for the past, year. That boy's been making bank, dude. He's been making some bank.
Yep.
From being out with England.
It's just like Jacob DeGrom. He's getting paid for this year.
Yeah.
They just don't make their incentives.
If you watch anybody, you knew Jacob DeGrom was going to get hurt.
Oh, yeah.
True.
How about them Rangers today, huh?
How about them Phillies?
Yeah.
Atlanta. Beat Atlanta.
That was the most surprising to me. Philly is special when they get in playoffs. That team is built to win in playoffs. They're not built for a regular season. They're built just to get in playoffs, because when they get in playoffs, that's when they're built to win, because they're not defensive. They're just going to hit. They're going to outscore you. That's just the way they work. Like Nick Castellanos, Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber.
Yep.
Like, those dudes are going to hit. Bryson Stott, I will say, I don't care that they're up 1-0. They still have to play their best series of baseball if they want to win. I would say
it's going to be, even with how good Atlanta is, it's going to be hard to win in Philly if the wild card games were like that in Philly.
Yes. Regardless. And that's a divisional matchup. Like, they play each other 18 times a year. So
there's going to be some hate.
Absolutely. I didn't get to watch that game, so I don't know what all happened in that game. But I do know that Philly won, and that's impressive to me. The fact that Philly goes into Atlanta and beats Atlanta, with Atlanta being
Dodgers and the Diamondbacks.
How about the D-backs? How about them Snakes?
Dude,
it wouldn't be playoffs without a Clayton Kershaw blunder.
I know, but hey, I would love if every they're winning 9-0.
The D-backs
are beating the Dodgers 9-0, dude.
Kershaw gave up 6 in the first.
Whoa!
Kershaw gave up 6 in the first.
Whoa!
I'm also going to say my personal opinion. I love.
They pulled him in the first.
Yeah. Huh?
They pulled him in the first.
Well, when you give up 6 runs, you're not going to. When you give up 5 runs without recording it out, that's not going to make for a long night for you.
Holy smokes. 9-0?
Yes.
Whoa.
I love this D-backs team. I think they're young. I think they're scrappy. I don't think they're built for this year.
I think we just need to give a round of applause to all the foreign systems that have made it to the playoffs. That's a very impressive, with the Orioles, the Rangers, the D-backs.
I knew the Orioles were going to be good. I didn't know the Orioles were going to win 101 games.
I mean, really, the only reason the Rangers won today was because Evan Carter, rookie. I don't even think he gets to be considered a rookie because he hasn't played that many games. Josh Young.
Yep.
I mean, the rookies are coming in. It's a young man's game.
The Rangers team is, I was listening to what they said the other day. The manager of the Rangers was like, I want y'all to hit infield plays, get the ball down. Let's get on base. Let's not try and swing for the fences, swing for home runs, stuff like that. Adolis Garcia is going to be the one to swing for the fences. I mean, that's the one you always want to swing.
Bombay.
I will tell you that Rangers-Orioles game was hurting my heart.
They just hit another run in. So it's 10.
Seeing Andrew Heaney Aroldis Chapman, and Aaron Hicks
Bottom of the second.
all playing in playoffs while my Yankees are at home hurts the heart.
Oh yeah.
All three who were awful in pinstripes. Which Aroldis had his times where he was good. Aroldis had more often times that he was good than Aaron Hicks did. Aaron Hicks had times where he was good. Andrew Heaney, I want to forget he was ever a Yankee. There was never a time he was good. He got traded for at the deadline, which is August 31st, and didn't even make it the rest of the season. He was that bad.
What I'm saying.
But seeing former Yankees who were terrible with the Yankees going in and like getting to make playoffs and getting to play in the most important time of the year while my Yankees get to watch from the couch, that just hurts. It just hurts the heart. And like I was talking to my dad earlier watching this game, Aroldis comes in to pitch and they're only up 1 run. And I told my dad, I said, I've sung this song. I've seen this movie too many times. Playoffs come, Aroldis is gonna give something up. He couldn't throw a strike. He did struggle to throw a strike, but they just put it in play. They put it in play, and Josh Young made it.
That's all they wanted today was just put one in play and hope to God that it got down. And I'm not. The times I went and watched the Rangers this season, that's the team that I saw play. I mean, they've played phenomenal these past 3 games.
Oh.
Honestly, hey, like closing out the season, who cares? Man, they didn't do as hot. They had to beat the Astros. They lost all 3 games. Had to come back and play Seattle. And mutually win 3 out of the 5 games to win the division. And they did it. Keep on playing baseball. Don't try and like.
The team has no quit. That is another team that this year, you knock them down 9 times, they're getting up 10. Like,
right.
That team, I will commend them because I'm not a Ranger fan. I will commend the way that they have battled, especially in playoffs. Goodness. I still don't think they do it.
You don't think they got the World Series? Or you think you don't think they?
I think Houston's in playoffs and Houston's going to be a problem.
Hey,
for anybody.
Today, Houston only won by 2 runs against who'd they play?
The Twins.
Who'd they play? They played the Twins. And throughout the season, the Twins have given Houston a problem. Throughout the season. And don't get me wrong, the Twins are not a caliber playoff team.
I saw a tweet the other day when the Twins won their wild card series and they were all walking out saying, "We want Houston." I tweeted back, I said, as a Yankee fan, no, you don't. We've done that. We've chanted that, and then we get swept. So, no, you don't.
I personally think if it comes down to a Houston, Texas, ALCS, I personally think the Rangers will pull it off, but it'll take every bit of them. And I personally think they'll play the Phillies, and the Phillies will win. No matter how much that's going to hurt my heart to see the Rangers make it to the World Series and lose again.
3 run.
I'll be very upset. But if it's to the Phillies,
Nelson Cruz ain't there. You should be all right. David Freese ain't. David Freese doesn't play anymore. You should be all right, huh?
Yeah.
Hello.
The big question for the Rangers is the bullpen going to hold up?
Hey, Montgomery the other day?
As of now, yes. But is the bullpen going to be able? They just played 162 games.
Yep.
Are they going to be able to make it? Because now the Rangers have to win, I think, 11 more games. They have to win 11 more games to win the World Series. Are they going to be able to hold up for
Is it a 7-game
bare
series
minimum
after the
of
wild
11
card?
games of extreme high intensity baseball, that do or die baseball. Like, I don't know.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a 7-game
I don't
series.
know either. I couldn't tell you.
The series they're in is 5-game, and then
then it
the
goes to
next one will be 7, and then the next one would be 7.
So me and Jaxon, we went to this thing called Broadway in Nashville.
Hey, I've been in the same place as Morgan Wallen. That's all I want to say.
Yeah. We didn't put 2 and 2 together when Broadway Girls came out, which, I mean, we are from Texas, so give us some slack. That Broadway Girls is actually talking about Broadway in Nashville and not like Broadway, New York, or any other Broadway you would actually think of. So yeah, we've actually stood where Morgan Wallen has stood, and that is very impressive, and I think is very exciting, even though there was thousands of people there, also there, probably didn't care, and already I got made fun of by one of the girls at work because I didn't already know that. So
My
but I
sister
was like,
made fun of me, so it's okay.
I was also like, I'm also from Texas. Didn't know that.
I didn't know
Put 2
Broadway
and 2 together.
Nashville.
Yeah. But yeah, we went to Broadway, had a lot of fun there.
Except
You're
for the
not a big-
$15 drinks.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't understand how people drink and do it every other weekend or every weekend, because $15 a drink ain't it. I don't know who has that kind of money, and I don't know how you have that kind of money. And if you'd let me in on the secret of how you get to that point of having that much money, I'd like to know. But yeah, Broadway was fun. It gets real crowded.
Especially after
back,
a Thomas Rhett concert.
yeah. After, and I mean, it also was a Saturday. So, but we went to the soccer game. The soccer game was good. Unfortunately, Jackson didn't get to see a goal. It ended up in a 0-0 draw. So nobody scored. But the fans were still there. The fans still gave a good, exciting environment. And I hope that Jackson had fun and everything. Getting to experience that for the first time. And then we went back to Broadway, and you couldn't get into a bar at all with how packed they were. But Broadway is a fun experience for anybody who hasn't experienced Broadway, and I think even if we go back, it'd still be a fun experience because, I mean, people do it all the time.
Got to see Vanderbilt.
Yeah, we hopped on some scooters and scootered around Vanderbilt, the campus and everything. Beautiful campus. Beautiful baseball program they have there. Had a lot of fun with that. Nashville in general is a very expensive place.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If you like to walk, it's not as expensive because you can kind of find some free parking areas here and there, and just you save a little money, but you add a little time on your ETA and stuff. You get a workout though, good cardio, get your steps in for the day. We had a little fun experiencing kind of the adult life.
We also got our picture taken by somebody, and he just walked off.
With the phone?
Yeah.
No, with his camera.
No,
with a camera.
Yep.
He took real
camera.
Yeah, he told us we look good, so he wanted to take our picture. He took our picture, talked to us for a minute, and walked off. So we have no idea what he's doing with our picture.
Nope.
He showed us the picture. He said, "Y'all look fly." Never offered us the picture. Nothing. So
So yeah, that was interesting.
Cool guy.
Yeah, cool, really cool guy.
Say that word on the podcast.
Um,
I forgot.
we got these sweet things. We both have a pair.
Hey.
Sweet pairs.
Hey.
Breast cancer awareness. Love you, Mom. Probably the best invention ever that I honestly put hate on.
Are you about to show on the fanny pack?
It's a fanny pack, dude. I've worn this every day since I bought it. It holds my keys, holds my wallet. I know where they are. Touching my butt, trying to find my wallet does give me many heart attacks here and there, but best invention ever. Still looks fly, all that good stuff.
Shout out.
Saturday night. Yeah, shout out to athletics. Saturday night we had a lot of fun. You know, when you're given the opportunity to kind of live your life freely and kind of just knock some stuff off of things you can do when you're young and single. We ended up at a strip club, had a little bit of fun there. I was very impressed, and so was Jaxon, on how strong them women are.
They're talented.
Like, very talented people.
Who's
Yeah.
winning the game?
I'm pretty sure the D-backs are still winning.
Yeah. 11-0, bottom of the eighth.
But the Titans game, like Jaxon was saying, was a very good experience. I have never previously seen an NFL game. I enjoyed it, even though we sat up in the nosebleeds. I mean, just looking down on the field and like seeing the people that you've watched on TV so many times, and just
I saw Joe
seeing them in
Burrow.
person. Yeah, like we saw Joe Burrow, saw Jamar Chase, saw T. Higgins, we saw Derrick Henry, Derrick Henry.
Saw Ryan Tannehill, bro.
Right there.
I saw Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, I mean, it was. But back to what Jaxon was kind of saying, I wore a light shirt, or a light blue shirt, but my underwear was Bengals underwear. Like, I had some tigers on them that looked like the Bengals logo. So I didn't really care who won. Had some people playing in fantasy, so I wanted to see them do good. Like, T. Higgins got hurt got a hurt rib in like the second quarter and got me like 5 points. So that's amazing.
I was paying attention to the game and I didn't even see T leave. So
me neither.
Not to my phone.
We didn't even find out until after halftime.
Dokie.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I had an amazing weekend, and I'm very happy that Jaxon took the time out of his busy schedule and picked a weekend that he could come up and visit. I had a good time. We spent a lot of money, hurt the bank a little bit, but you only get these times every once in a while. Like, he's the first person to come up here and visit. So, it is what it is. You know, I do kind of get lonely up here, but I also like being lonely. So, but I really do appreciate him coming, flying up, and spending his money to fly up and everything. And I know, I love you too, Jack. I really do appreciate it, and I had a good time. I hope you had a good time, and hopefully we can do it sometime soon. Yep. So
I will be back.
But yeah, that was our weekend in Nashville. We had a good time. Maybe not the best decisions at some points, but you know, we only live once. Yeah.
out of the three of us right there, who was all staring at Kenyon's butt? Were you? Kenyon, since you're a big fishing guy, would you rather use open face, a closed face, the pushy button spinning reel?
Pushy button spinning reel, you say?
The button
Okay.
you push on a reel. The button you push, kind of like a kid's pole, Jaxon.
I'm gonna use a bait caster, like a man. So.
Are you sure you're not gonna get it wasp nest every time?
Well, you see, I've been using a bait caster since I was 13 or 12.
I'm
13.
still using a spinning reel, but
so it happens. It's part of fishing, but it's not near as bad as it was when I was 12 or 13. So
it's on my leg.
Yeah, and since I'm a big fisherman, like you say, and I had no idea anything you just told me, I'm just going to tell you what I use. I use a spinning reel, rod and reel. The one I have a Zepco, and I have a Lew's.
So for reels, I like Lew's. For rods, I like Duckett's.
I've heard of those.
I like Duckett rods.
Okay.
Somehow, so I have like this really nice setup, with a Lew's. I don't even know what it is, but it's a Duckett Ghost rod. Me and my dad both got them. He broke his Duckett rod, and I never broke mine. And then he takes mine fishing one time, and he comes back and he blames the rod, and he breaks my rod. And he says it's because the rods are terrible. And I'm like, Dad, I've used this rod and reel for over a year now, and now you take it one time and it's broke. I don't think it's the rod. Makes me so mad. I love that rod.
I also have Abu Garcia.
Abu Garcia, okay.
But I normally just use they're called chatterbaits, right? Ones that chatter underwater and stuff. I normally only use those. And I'll use a rooster shell here and there.
I'm a big crankbait guy.
I don't have any chatterbaits.
Big crankbait guy.
I love the like
chatterbaits.
Chatterbaits.
Yeah.
They're nice. I think it's the only thing and spinner baits. It's got to be white and chartreuse.
I do like.
I don't like spinner baits.
A good spinner bait is hard to beat.
Lord.
Like I said, you called me a fisherman. I am a fisher man. But
what?
No.
I gotta be.
I am a fisher of men. All I use is chatterbaits. I really don't. Honestly, the only reason I'd use a rooster tail is because I don't have a chatterbait. Even if I don't catch anything that day, I'm still gonna use a chatterbait.
So like Jaxon, we asked. I asked like this last week to Kenyon and Brian. Do you really have any like life advice on anything to like to help people out, or like what to motivate them to like push through to like achieve what they need? You're a really good outspoken guy that always says his mind to people. Even if it is something really not
uplifting.
True. Uplifting. But it's always like like you got me through high school, Mr. Preston's class whenever we were in there with for the I can't remember if it was animal science or something like that, and every day. I mean, he'd be like, Evan, just go sit somewhere else. You're pissing me off. I'm like, okay, Jaxon. Then finally towards the end of the year we actually kinda got like I didn't piss you off anymore.
I don't know how the question you originally started asking turned into that.
Well,
So back to your original question, just some life advice. I know I'm not really at, you know, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm not really the one that should be giving life advice. Um, but as the oldest one in this podcast right now, um, something I would say is I never thought I would be where I am. Um, like ever since I was a freshman in high school, I always knew that I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to coach, and it just felt like I was never going to be there. It felt like I was never going to reach that goal. But I am extremely blessed to be where I'm at and work with the group of people that I work with who are extremely supportive. Um, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So whether it be like for me, college, it felt like it was never going to end, and I finally got through it, and now I'm where I want to be, and just trying to grow in my career. So there's a light at the end of that tunnel. So whether it be um, whatever you're going through right now that you feel like it's just never going to end, there is a light. There is going to be something that you just need to be working towards, and as long as you're working towards your goals, there will be a light at the end of that tunnel.
You know, is North Lamar your forever home right now, or is it kind of like a temporary home?
See,
Or
I
you
can't
want
say that. I love where I am. I love the people I work with. I love the students that I get the opportunity to teach throughout the day. I love the students that I'm able to, um, you know, get out on the practice field. The ones I get to go to war with, on the football field. And I haven't got to experience basketball season, track season, baseball season yet, but I do love it. I'm It's more than I ever expected. It's harder than I expected it to be, but anything worth doing is not going to be easy. Um, so I really am blessed. I'm thankful for the opportunity. I can't say it's my forever home. It very well may be my forever home. I may stay at North Lamar for the next 30 years. I don't know. I don't know what the future holds. Um, I do know that at some point I want to have my own baseball program, which I've kind of had that idea throughout, this whole process of going through college. And like my goal is I want to have my own baseball program. Um, but like, starting this job has really helped me like, okay, you reach this goal, now make another one and reach it, whether it be in 5 years or not.
right?
That's So I've reached one goal, reached one milestone in my life, in my career, like starting my career, and now I'm setting other goals to be able to reach and carry on throughout life. And like I do want to have my own baseball program. I know I've said that, but
I mean, that's just one of the many goals that
that's
you
my
have.
next major milestone in my career that I want to reach. Whether it be
Right.
5, 10 years, I'm gonna get there.
Like I mean, we all graduated from the same school except for Brian. But is there a part of you that you want to go back home? Like I know for me, I know for me, I want to go back home someday. But like right now is not the time to go.
Absolutely.
You gotta build yourself up to that mentality that you had back in high school because it's time that we part ways from our original school. We still have that love for that school and we still support them and every aspect of every sport and cheer them on. Hoping that they win every game, hoping that they never lose. Basketball, baseball, a track meet, a golf meet, whatever it may be, tennis, UIL. No matter what it is, you just hope they never lose. But
I hope nothing but the best for that. So it's always been somewhere that I've always envisioned myself. I've never envisioned myself wearing the blue and gold. Um, but at the same time, my plan and the Lord's plan don't always align. And ultimately, His plan is going to take priority, whether I want it to or not.
I never saw myself wearing blue and white, but I mean, that's going to a 3A school, growing up versus a 2A, it's way different from what, like you're at, we went to a 3A, now you're at is it a 5 or 4? 4A? So you've got, like so many more kids, so many more this, you have what? How many football teams? What? 7, 8?
At the junior high level, we have 3 teams. We have a total of like 90 students playing football right now.
Yeah. And y'all have 3 of a freshman team, a JV team, and a varsity team?
Yep. We have more students playing football than my graduating class had in total.
See, like whenever I was at, Clarksville, we had, I think, 22 kids play, and that's everybody. And I'll tell you, from the environment of a regular or a district win, like you experienced on Friday, going or clinching a playoff spot, like 2 weeks out from the playoffs, a way different experience. I hope the best for you at North Lamar. Like I really do. Hope everything is going well, and I hope y'all win district titles back and forth, back to back years.
We still have Pleasant Grove in our district, so.
Really? I thought they moved. Oh. Y'all got Pittsburgh still?
That's who we beat.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
That's who we beat.
Never mind.
Beat Pittsburgh last night.
Hill got next week.
Spring Hill.
Hey, that's where one of the old coaches that was at Clarksville, he went there.
We should start off 2-0 in district. Can't wait.
Who won between the Spring Hill and the
LE?
Yeah.
It went to overtime, and LE won it in overtime.
But, like, I mean, I hope you bring district titles everywhere you go. Like last year, bringing a playoff appearance to my resume was absolutely phenomenal. Being able to experience that, being a coach, and experience it with a really small school. Not going against the number. I think I looked up the rankings before we went out. They were the number, I think, like 40th team in the state of Texas. We were down and out before the game even started. They had, I think, 45 kids on the roster that night. We had 14. We had 14 going into the game. And the only one that came out was our quarterback. He didn't play defense. And, all love for Clarksville. I mean, it was a great experience being there. And it was I loved all the kids. Every kid always had a good thing to say. I tried. I mean, as Kenyon always tells me, don't ever take nobody down, build them up. Always build up somebody that, maybe not have it all, or, because some of those kids in there don't have, the role models that they need. So they need a coach to have a role model for. And, a lot of them kids, like, they see me as like being a young kid, like young coach. They're like, oh, well, we can relate with this guy. I ain't got food this week. All right, let's go get something to eat real quick. Some of those kids ain't got, daddies, mamas, everything like that. And, you have to like build them up from it. And their dad figure is their coach at the school.
Yeah, being able to make an impact is big.
And I hope and pray for this job that's coming up. I hope and pray that it goes out the way I want it to before, district is over with. But, I'm ready for it to bounce. What happened?
I'm sorry. I made eye contact with Jaxon with a smile.
All right, good. Hold on.
It had nothing to do with anything. Just me and Jaxon made straight eye contact.
How about so we made eye contact with you earlier, and it was like me and Brian absolutely busted out laughing. We were like,
Evan, I still can't see you. So,
I was about to say, like, you can't see me?
I can't.
no, I can't see you. But carry on.
See me now?
Evan, you didn't have to do that. Good Lord.
Well, I mean, you got to see me.
I could hear you perfectly fine. That's all I needed.
You know.
Freaking mosquito bite. You got West now.
Uh-oh.
Carry on.
You got West Nile? You just get bit by a mosquito?
Yep.
Sweet.
But, you know, and if the plan is to go back home one day to...
I'm sorry. Jaxon, quit looking into my soul.
Your arms around me, baby.
How you don't look at
Hold
you?
me close, and as we touch,
You might
I'm
not be,
about
but
to
every time I
begin
look over to you, it's like
loving you.
Oh, I'm
staring.
1,000% looking at you, Kenyon.
Okay.
Any more advice for upcoming coaches that are trying to do this, or high school graduates that are wanting to go coach and figure out what they want to do with their life? Like,
I'm still
would you
figuring it out myself.
I don't know, would you recommend, if you love the sport enough, as football?
It's not even about loving the sport. I'll tell you that. I love the sport of football. I love it. It's not about loving the sport. It's about whether or not you love the teaching aspect and love the kids. It's not even about the sport.
Yeah.
You're
the class.
You're going to spend 70% of your time in the classroom, about 30% on the field, practicing doing that. You got to love that 70%. I'm learning a lot, though. I'm really happy.
Oh yeah. I'm happy that you found your home for right now, and at least it's here in town where you are. You're not so far away. You could be all the way in, let's just say Fort Townsend, Kentucky, and getting a coaching job, you'd be that far away from home. You're only from home? What, about 10 minutes away from home? From North
It takes me about 12 minutes to get to school.
Well,
we're kind of representing you up in the corner up there.
Okay.
Yeah, for Jaxon, everybody. Thank you for coming on the pod. We appreciate it.
Hey, it was nice having you on the Phluffy Boiz Podcast. Come back another time if you want to.
Yeah, you just gotta hit me up, and we might be able to make something work.
All right,
I highly doubt it. Get out of here.
Okay.
Well, the verse of the day is Joshua 1:9. Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened and do not be dismayed. For the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. I kind of think it's kind of how what Jaxon was talking about. I think it kind of correlates with him. With no matter what you're doing, where you go, where you end up, it's always going to be his plan. I can kind of take it as, like with me up here, I would have never guessed that I would be living in Kentucky for this long, and here I am, and I'm just trying to be faithful to him and do what he needs me to do up here while I'm up here. And if it leads me to stay up here, then it leads me to stay up here. If it leads me back to Texas, then I end up back in Texas. But again, we thank Jaxon for being on the pod and taking time out of his day to discuss this type of stuff. But yeah, actually yesterday, or not yesterday, but Thursday, I got to talk to a patient about God and everything and help him. He was a more new, recent believer. Said he got baptized not too long ago. Congratulations to him for coming into the family, even though he was already family. Even when you're lost, you're still part of the family. But when you do give your life and everything, then you really become part of the family and become brother and sister in Christ with all of us. And it's a joyful moment when stuff like that happens. And I'm just honored and blessed that I get to be God's servant and be able to talk about it to people. And yeah, but that is the verse of the day.
We're all servants. That's what God sent us here to be, was servants and serve unto Him.
Yeah.
I can tell them what you're saying if you want me to. Sorry for the technical difficulties for the AirPods. I promise you I will figure it out probably next week, or we'll go buy a microphone because it's for looks.
Sorry for not being able to talk. It's because our host didn't bring the other AirPods.
Sorry, it's my fault. I didn't bring the other AirPods, but as Kenyon is saying, with Jaxon, I thank you for coming on the podcast. And I'm just like last week. I'm so grateful for how many people watched episode 2. It was great. People that watch the TikToks, that like the TikToks. I can't stress it enough that how grateful I am to come on a night, where we all have time. We're all not as busy as anybody else is, or we're not busy, and we have time for each other. I can't stress it enough to thank everybody out there that has, kept up with the podcast, keeping up with the Phluffy Boiz. But, all glory to God and all glory to His work, His plan, it may not be big right now, but God has a plan for this podcast, and His plan is always the best plan. And it's
hard. Listen to Him, you'll never go wrong. Lord knows what is right and what is wrong.
Can you hear?
Yeah, it's a little choppy, but yeah.
Well, we'll
you can never go wrong.
Honestly.
You can never go wrong believing in Him.
Right.
Always trust Him. Always. No matter what. Even if things are going wrong, just keep that Lord in your heart. Everything will be fine.
Money, wealth, don't matter. Crowns.
All you need is Him.
About it.
But we'll end it right here. All I got to say is, with our ending, is there's only one Oklahoma, and I'm just honored and blessed that I was raised in a family that I have family. The family up here actually root for Texas. I'm just honored and blessed that I got to be born in a family that is just in the rivalry, and I personally think it's the best rivalry in sports and in football. And I'm just, win or lose, I'm just blessed every year that we get to be a part of it and we get to watch it.
And you pregame today with 6 Dr. Peppers.
Yeah, I ended up only drinking 3. I could only make it for 3. 3 and a medium-sized pizza from Domino's.
We absolutely always keep God and family first.
All right, my fluffy people of the Phluffy Boiz Podcast. I'm your host, Evan, with my co-host,
Ryan.
With
my speak this podcast a lot because of our host. Forgot to bring the AirPods.
Yep. Come on, Evan.
With my weekly special guest, Kenyon, and also the first official special guest, Jaxon. I thank you for coming on again. It was truly phenomenal to have you back on. and hopefully more episodes to come. We'll have episode 4 come out next week, or we'll have episode 3 come out Monday, episode 4 come out the following Monday, and
Maybe.
we'll have
It depends.
maybe.
I got a busy schedule this weekend.
Okay. We'll have another special guest next weekend. We'll have Joel.
I was about to say, are you going to name drop him, or are you going to leave it a secret?
No, we're gonna put it out there. We're gonna put the bassman fisherman on the podcast, Mr. Joel.
A lot of fish talk.
A lot of fish talk is coming, so if you really are psyched about the fish talk, just wait till Joel is in the podcast. It is going to be phenomenal. It's going to be an amazing podcast. But that is going to do it for the end of the Phluffy Boiz Podcast, episode number 4, and that is the Boys Out.
Stay safe. Take care of yourself. Every day is a blessing, baby.
It is.
You don't have to shake your jelly rolls like that, bro.
It's called Phluffy Boiz for a reason. Let him do it.
You gotta let me luscious my luscious rolls.